Let's talk about the quintessential question at the end of every E3. Who won? Who won E3? Colin.
I mean, the games that spoke to me were shown more by PlayStation, but I still say the biggest announcement was for Microsoft with backwards compatibility, because I think that's a significant. It's a step towards opening up 1,000 new games potentially on Xbox One, and I think that's a huge announcement. And I think that's a direct shot across the bow at Sony too. So I was most intrigued by that announcement. But in terms of games, I mean, Horizon and The Last Guardian spoke to me, I think, more than
Uncharted 4. I know when Uncharted 4 came on, Colin put his head down. He's like, I already know I love Uncharted 4. I don't need to preview
Don't want
games
to see it?
anymore,
I don't want to see it ever again.
Really?
Yeah, I was talking to Sony, and they're like, oh, you're going to come see it? And I'm like, no. And they're like, why? Like, it was like almost offended. I'm like, no, it's a compliment. And I'm sure it's going to be great.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I don't need to see it.
Yeah, just show it to me when it's in my hands in a final, the final build of the game. Yeah, until then, I'm good.
Fair enough. Tim, what was making you feel good this year?
Oh, there was a lot that was making me feel good, Danny. A lot.
In that entire Nintendo booth.
That's the thing, though. I'm a Nintendo fanboy. I've said it a million times, and you guys know that. You know that well. And I am looking forward to so many of their games. Yoshi's Woolly World, Star Fox, Mario Maker. Oh, my God, I'm going to put so much time into those games. But I can't say that Nintendo won it this year. With the Direct thing.
What about that Metroid Prime game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's causing like
Finally.
a meltdown.
I mean, it's like
on the internet.
Nintendo, they could have won it for me if there was a big surprise, if there was something I didn't know about, if there was just something to really look forward to in the distant future. Because I want that hint. I want that oh, it's okay, guys, we're going to be okay. And it didn't happen. I got to go with PlayStation, man. It's like walking around their booth, there's so many games that I want to play. There's so many games that are just coming out, and even the smaller ones, the bigger ones, even just seeing Journey again in 1080 60.
Looks
oh my
great.
God.
Just
It
over
looks
there.
beautiful. So I'm going to go with
They
Sony.
still didn't have an answer for that, though, right? They were just like, hey, Journey's still here and it's awesome, but we don't know when that's coming. And
Yeah.
We've seen that before. Kevin Coelho's walking off with all the kind of funny equipment. Thank you very much. And our bags.
Thank you,
Grayson's got our
Thank you.
bags, too. Good job, everybody.
You'll never see them again.
Yeah, I know, right? Why do we let the PA part-time guy take our bags? Nick.
Oh, hey.
What's the best thing you
What's
saw?
I can't see you, so yeah.
No, it's okay.
Keep telling yourself that.
I think it's a toss-up between Microsoft and Sony this year. I think they both had really, really, really strong conferences for all the reasons noted. I'm not going to go ahead and reiterate what you guys have said. I only got a chance. I don't think it's fair that I voted because I only got a chance to stumble around Sony's booth for about 5 minutes, and then Microsoft, I looked over and I'm like, it's too far.
It's
too
right
far.
there.
I know.
We can see it.
But it was
so
a
close.
madhouse over there. I mean, they're
I
both.
can see it. Yeah, it's right.
Yeah.
No, I know. It's Greg, we've gone too far. We've come too far. But no, I might give the slight edge to Sony as well.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I'm not a huge Sony fanboy like some people that I know. But when The Last Guardian, when you saw that the feather dropping and The Last Guardian was shown, and the look on like Colin's face specifically, right? You can't take that away. That was magical. It was magic.
It was real good.
That to me is it's real good. Real good. That to me is important, right? Because video games are obviously a form of entertainment, but there's a fair amount of showmanship that goes into this.
Yeah.
And you do have to make something, not for lack of a better term, like there has to be a little magic behind it, right? It can't just be paint by numbers a lot of the time.
Especially at E3.
Exactly.
Like, this is what we all look forward to all year.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like Sony really gets that. I feel like they really try, and they have a lot of heart. Not to take anything away from Microsoft and Nintendo, but I feel like Sony came with it this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Microsoft had a
They brought
solid
it.
showing as well, as Colin was saying as well. Greg,
Yeah.
can I even ask? Should I even ask?
I mean, I still think it was a really, really close race between Sony and Microsoft in terms of it. And I think you can make a case either one way or the other. I think the people who, I lean towards Microsoft because I think theirs was more about changing the perception of who they were, right? They come out, they're about games, just games. If we have an announcement, it's directly influencing games. It's backwards compatibility. And that's really the thing I think that spoke about this E3 was companies, established companies, trying to change the messaging, right?
Yeah.
Microsoft changing their messaging. Guerrilla coming out and be like, we're more than Killzone. You know what I
Totally.
mean? Like, here's this beautiful
Fantastic,
game
yeah.
that everyone's going to be interested in. And even EA. Like, we had Peter Moore on, right? And Peter Moore was talking about Unraveled and being like, it's a game that maybe we break even on, but we make enough money on FIFA. We make enough money on Madden. We need to take those chances if we want to be the company we want to be. And that's great to hear people say.
Totally, and there's some great little signs around here as well. EA obviously had like a company-wide ideology to be like, you know what, we need to get better female characters into our games, and they've done that across the board as well. So PlayStation for you?
In terms of games, sure. I mean, like, they had the more games that spoke to me, but that's just who I am. I mean, the Microsoft conference felt like it was like, here's a game that's for Alfredo, and then here's a game for Greg, and here's a game for Alfredo, and here's a game for Greg. Whereas Sony was way packed in the beginning of stuff I was super interested in. But even at the end, The one thing I keep criticizing them for is that did you get to go see the Uncharted demo behind closed doors?
No, I've heard about it from a bunch
It's one
of
of
people.
those, when the Uncharted demo closed out the conference, I was waiting for the moment, the Bruce dropped the controller moment, like Last of Us, like the PSX demo,
Yeah.
and it didn't come. It ends, and you're like, okay, it's more Uncharted, great. And then you went up, and that demo, as soon as it picks back up, gets awesome and insane, and there's different camera angles and motion, and like it looks like a next-gen Uncharted. It looks like what you want, I guess, not even to expect. Whereas what I saw Monday night was what I expected.
Yeah.
Behind closed doors is what I wanted. And if they would have done that entire demo on stage, knocked off another trailer or something, there'd be no debate. There'd be no debate who won E3.
Well, fingers crossed we might see that at Gamescom maybe in the next couple of weeks. For me, I'm going to throw a little curveball. I think Bethesda knocked it out of the park. Are you kidding me? Like, it's the first time they've done it. Software can go either way. Like, Square's one was okay. EA's was kind of, a little bit
rough. EA's was
yeah.
rough.
So, like, for them to come on and not only be like, okay, this is our first time we're going to do this, but we're going to have, like, slobber knocker after slobber knocker. Doom, I'm not totally sold on, but it was great to see it. I think seeing Dishonored is fantastic as well, but fuck me, man, Fallout 4. It's coming out this year. I spent 140
Colin was
bucks
right.
on that thing. That's
Yeah.
dumb, you're right.
Oh, yeah, no.
What are we doing?
I'm going to make some awesome
Wasted.
twitch.tv/kindafunny streams, kindafunny streams where I do wear it and I'm touching and I'm talking and I'm doing the things. I'm going to have a great time. That's what I'm doing.
Here's the
fantastic.
thing about Bethesda that I liked is that I don't think they're going to do that again. I don't think there's going to be a Bethesda conference again.
I think the
And for
reason
at
they
least for
did
a
that.
few years,
Never,
yeah.
I was gonna say,
And
never
that's
say
why I
never.
like that all the stars aligned.
Perfect storm.
It was ready, and Arcane was ready, and their internal studio, Bethesda Game Studios, they're all internal studios, but Bethesda
Yeah.
Game Studios was ready. So the stars aligned, and I think they just disappear next year, and they
You're
don't do it
right.
again.
They drop the mic.
I totally think that's awesome.
Yeah.
They had a mic drop. They were like, you knew what was coming when they said that they were going
This
to
is
be.
no offense to Bethesda, though, but I hope to God they don't make an annual thing out of this, because adding another day to E3 is killing me right now.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's killing me.
You'd be dead no matter what.
That's
but
fair.
that's the thing, like, we got to this point where we were deciding on our game of the show, and we went around and nobody mentioned Fallout, and Chloe's like, you remember Fallout happened, right? And we're like, yeah, but it was expected. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, E3's always about this surprise and what you didn't see coming, you know what I mean? So for Fallout to have led with their coming, and this is going to happen, and then we
Yeah.
see it, and it's more Fallout, which is like awesome, then upgrades in this. I know it's not exactly the same,
Yeah.
but it's similar enough where you're like, that's exactly what I want. That's probably going to be game of the year. Great, but like for this right now, like what's got us the most hopeful wide-eyed?
Totally. E3 2015 ended up being quite the barn burner.
Oh, yeah.
2015 for video games is going to be pretty great as well. We've
Yeah.
got 6 months of awesome stuff coming on. Thank you so much, Kind of Funny, for joining with us.
Thank you.
This year on GameSpot. Thank you so much, everyone who watched. Thank you so much, everyone who's watching us right here.
Yeah!
Who let us do this crazy nonsense. Yeah, let's have a little drinky later on and relax.
We have a lot of drinkies later
And then,
on.
yeah, we got some video games to play over the next couple of months.